I think that's something that's always a challenge because you're always evolving as an artist, and nowadays because there's so many artists coming out, you kind of have to define who you are, figure out what your music is and the sounds and stuff. But at the same time, you don't want to be redundant, so you kind of have to change and grow. And I think for me, one of the things that I think surprised me was that I'm much more inclined to be more transparent with my lyrics, or just being more honest, and I think before I kind of curated it a little, kind of hid behind the music a little and didn't want my fans to really know exactly what I was feeling, just because it's so personal. But now I've realized there's some situations where I actually just can't not be honest when I'm writing music anymore, so it's really just purely what I'm feeling. And it's funny because sometimes I listen to the songs, I'm like, oh God, I hope these people don't know that this is about, so, it's actually about certain people, and it's very personal. So, but I think that's also where, for me, instead of trying to keep up with all the trends of music, you kind of have to focus on just making great music that speaks to you first, predominantly, because, who knows when your album will come out, or if you even decide not to release stuff. So you can't be conscious of when, the time, because stuff goes out of style super quick. So for me, it's all about making timeless music, that kind of fits in any time period, that still feels fresh but kind of reminds you of the past. And that way I kind of don't worry about, oh, it has to happen now because that trend is happening now. So, but yeah, I think I'm a little bit braver, would be what I think I've seen. I've grown up a bit in the sense of just writing what I feel and just seeing how they deal with it. It's been a little weird, that's actually a good question. My mother was a classical pianist and very much more reserved. Classical is very structured, and she sees my Instagram and sees what I post, and she'll kind of get uncomfortable with some of the stuff just because it's very telling, or it's not that crazy, but for her, she's always trying to protect and make everything look very perfect. And I try to explain to her, the more honest and real an artist comes off, the more fans, I think, really appreciate that. I think they can kind of smell when you're being fake. So I think for me, it was acknowledging that my fans actually encouraged it and kind of supported me for being more honest. But it has been funny because, my boyfriend is the subject of a few of my songs, and he'll oh God, he's a little mortified that some of this stuff is gonna come out. But I'm like, hey, but it helps other people, they can identify with it. But yeah, it is a little weird when you have to have those real life conversations with people and be like, sorry,